on attachment,
Right.
but not on relationships. The series with Conti includes one episode of the 4 that's all about relational understanding and how to select a mate based on matching of drives. And
all the demons inside the subconscious, how to match demons, that they dance well together, or what?
And how generative 2 people are.
What does that mean?
Means that, how the way he explains it is how devoted to creating growth within the context of the family, the relationship with work.
Well, let me ask you about mating rituals and how to find such a relationship. I mean, you're really big on friendships, on the value of friendships.
I am.
And that, I think, extends itself into one of the deepest kinds of friendships you can have, which is a romantic relationship. What mistakes, successes, and wisdom can you impart?
Well, I've certainly made some mistakes. I've also made some good choices in this realm. First of all, we have to define what sort of relationship we're talking about. If one is looking for a life partner, potentially somebody to establish family with or without kids, with or without pets, right? Families can take different forms. I mean, I certainly experienced being a family in a prior relationship where it was the 2 of us and our 2 dogs, and it was family. Like, we had our little family. I think, based on my experience and based on input from friends who themselves have very successful relationships, I must say I've got friends who are in long-term, monogamous, very happy relationships where there seems to be a lot of love, a lot of laughter, a lot of challenge, and a lot of growth. And both people, it seems, really want to be there and enjoy being there.
Just to pause on that, one thing to do, I think, by way of advice, is listen to people who are in long-term successful relationships. That's like, it seems dumb, but like we both know and are friends with Joe Rogan, who's been in a long-term, really great relationship, and he's been an inspiration to me. So you take advice from that guy.
Definitely. And several members of my podcast team are in excellent relationships. I think one of the things that rings true over and over again in the advice and in my experience is, find someone who's really a great friend. Like, build a really great friendship with that person. Now, obviously not just a friend if we're talking romantic relationship, but and of course, sex is super important, but it should be a part of that particular relationship alongside or meshed with the friendship. Can it be a majority of the positive exchange? I suppose it could, but I think the friendship piece is extremely important, because what's required in a successful relationship clearly is joy in being together, trust, a desire to share experience, both mundane and more adventurous, support each other, acceptance, a real maybe even admiration, but certainly delight in being with the person. Earlier we were talking about peace, and I think that sense of peace comes from knowing that the person you're in friendship with, or that you're in romantic relationship, or ideally both, because let's assume the best romantic relationship includes a friendship component with that person. It's like you just really delight in their presence, even if it's a quiet presence. And you delight in seeing them delight in things, right? That's clear. The trust piece is huge, and that's where people start. We don't want to focus on what works, not what doesn't work, but that's where I think people start engaging in these covert contracts. They're afraid of being betrayed, so they betray. They're afraid of giving up too much vulnerability, so they hide their vulnerability. Or in the worst cases, they feign vulnerability. Again, that's a covert contract that just simply undermines everything. It becomes 1 + 1 = 2 - 1 to infinity.